Aren't we glad that Netflix swooped in to save the day when we thought that one of our favorite series, Lucifer, would be going off our screens forever? Well, thanks to that move, we got to have a few more seasons of the show and see the story of the devil in one of the most entertaining ways possible. The producers of Lucifer gave an entirely different meaning to the concept of the fallen angel, and we have no complaints. Apart from the lovely storyline and Lucifer's British accent that has got a lot of us swooning for the devil, there are some hidden secrets on the show that you never knew about. Well, you're about to find out some of the craziest ones. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. And now, it's showtime. Secret of the Ring. From the very first episode of Lucifer, we all noticed that he wore a ring, which has never left his hand all through the show. Is it just an accessory, or is there more to it? Well, just as a lot of us suspected, there's actually more to Lucifer's ring, and we got that answer in Season 5. In this season, we got to see a scene that took place in the 1940s, where the noir episode featured the original owner of the ring, Lilith. Lilith is also the mother of Maze, and she gave this ring to Lucifer as a gift when she gave up her immortality. So that's one major fact we know about the ring. But there's more. The real origin of the ring beyond the show is actually a bit funny. There wasn't really a plan to include a ring in the show from the beginning until Tom Ellis announced that there was something missing in his outfit. He felt that it wasn't complete, and what happened next was him ransacking the costume department. Well, the good news is that he did find a box of jewelry and fell in love with our beloved black ring almost immediately. In fact, if you paid a little more attention to the episode in Season 2 where Amenadiel and Lucifer were in search of the final piece of the flaming sword, you won't miss the little inside joke about the ring. Amenadiel talked about how he had never seen Lucifer without his ring, and the devil replied that it was the key to completing his ensemble. When Candy stole the ring in Season 3, Lucifer was desperate to get it back because it reminded him of his old friend Lilith. Of course, we know the source of the ring's stone is the Garden of Eden. Now, there is still one more secret about this ring that many people have missed. When the ring first appeared on a poster, Lilith was wearing the ring with a white stone, but when she gave up her immortality, the stone changed to black as she breathed her soul into it. And that's why the ring is not white as it was at first, but remains black until the end of the show, or until there is another twist. We really can't put it past the showrunners. Up next is Tom Ellis chose Lucifer's accent. Raise your hands if you're in love with Lucifer's British accent. One of the many things fans love about Lucifer is his accent, which blends well with his personality. Well, you'd be surprised to know that this wasn't the initial plan. Lucifer was meant to be the typical Los Angeles citizen with a cool American accent, but Tom Ellis felt that it really wasn't coming off okay. Even after going through the written dialogue, he believed that it made Lucifer seem like a jerk rather than someone who was charming with a dazzle of sarcasm. So he made the obvious choice, which would be a British accent. And really, who doesn't love that accent where you could get away with saying pretty much anything? Just try saying, "Are you alright?" with both accents and you'll know what we're talking about. Then again, saying evil things with a British accent sounded way more mischievous than snarky, like it would be with an American accent. Would anyone have taken Lucifer seriously if he said, "Hey, what do you desire, buddy?" with an American accent? I guess it's a good thing we don't get to find out. We're glad that they made the right choice, and one that reflects the power of Lucifer's mojo. Up next is, Lucifer wasn't meant to sing or be an LAPD consultant. Here's one more thing Tom Ellis unintentionally changed about the show. After filming one day at their Vancouver location, a few members of the cast and crew, including Tom Ellis, went out to a karaoke bar. It was here that Tom sang in front of everyone for the first time, and the production team realized that he had an amazing singing voice. You may be surprised that only the pilot episode of the show was shot in Los Angeles. Every other season of the show from the third season has been filmed in California, mostly at the Warner Brothers studio. The cast and crew admit that it had been quite a lot of fun, and no one regrets picking this location. Many people may have been wondering if Lucifer really sang those songs and played the piano instead of just lip-syncing to someone else's voice. Well, we're here to tell you that it's all Lucifer's voice. We're sure you would have noticed that his songs always set the tone for an emotional journey, and they connect easily with the theme of the episode. So when the producers discovered that Tom Ellis could actually sing, they all decided it would be a perfect idea to work it into an episode of the show in the first season. It's no surprise that Tom is musically inclined, as he comes from a family that loves music. Apart from playing the French horn and trumpet while growing up, his mother was also a music teacher. However, he didn't know how to play the piano at first, but was very much willing to learn. A few videos of him on his social media pages show Tom flexing his fingers on the piano as he sings along and tries to master the art of the musical instrument. Another feature that was a last-minute decision was making Lucifer be a consultant for the LAPD. Lucifer is a show that was always meant to be about how the devil lived in Los Angeles and interacted with the other characters, but getting Lucifer to become fully involved in solving crimes with the police department was something of an accident. Well, we could call it a happy one, because we can't imagine Lucifer without his penchant for solving crime cases. Seeing him as a fallen angel would have probably made him less relatable and too devilish for the fans, although that's how the original Lucifer in the comics is, and we know that this is the inspiration for the series. Still, we all love the Lucifer that we see now on our television screens, and wouldn't want it any different. Up next is Chloe's shirt showing the stars. Here's one secret that a huge percentage of Lucifer fans would definitely have missed in the scene where Chloe says goodbye to the devil. Chloe wasn't wearing just any shirt, but a dark blue one littered with what looked like white blotches at first. Those are actually little stars sprinkled all around the button-up shirt. This shirt is a subtle reference to Morning Star, which we know as Lucifer's last name. If you ever thought that this wasn't just any shirt, then thumbs up to you. But there's more. The planet Venus was often called the Morning Star, and when you translate Lucifer from Latin, that's exactly what you get. So you could say that this shirt is a reminder of how Chloe sees Lucifer as the star she sees in the morning. Usually we relate the fallen angel to something negative and even darkness, but Chloe's shirt is a representation that Lucifer is much more than that to her. Looking at this interpretation, you could watch that goodbye scene again and look at it a little differently. Up next is symbolism using objects in the show. We all know that the origins of Lucifer are deeply religious. Well, we see symbols of this sprinkled in various scenes in the series. Remember that story of Eve in the Garden of Eden, where she ate the forbidden fruit? This is one of the religious concepts that was imported into the show. Every time we see the character Eve on our screens, you can always bet that there would be apples somewhere close. If you missed this, then check out the first time that Eve showed up at the club. Right there on the bar table, she was sitting close to a bowl of green apples, and that's not the only time. In another scene, Eve was wearing a t-shirt that had a red apple print on it while also standing between two red apples. It's very hard to miss this if you're paying attention, but then it's one of those open secrets on the show. It's quite obvious that these apples are symbols of the Christian story of Adam and Eve. There's also symbolism with Lucifer and even Chloe. Every time Lucifer is playing the piano at the club, the camera slowly shows a black and white cityscape pattern right behind him. But then again, you have to pay attention to this decoration closely to realize that it gives the impression that he's sitting on a throne. We can then conclude that it's a subtle reference to Lucifer being the king of hell. It gets more interesting when we see a similar scene just after Father Kinley's crazy prophecy. In that prophecy, he said that there would be a queen of hell alongside Lucifer. At first, you would think that this is just nonsense talk until the scene where Lucifer is playing the piano as usual, and Chloe joins him. This is her own way of offering some comfort to the love of her life. And then we see that same decoration behind them, while Chloe and Lucifer are on the seat. The secret here is that this could be some subtle hint about Chloe becoming the queen of hell, possibly before the end of the show. Well, since the series is not over yet, and we still have a few more glorious episodes to go, let's see if we're right about this or not. And there you have it. There are the Lucifer show secrets you never knew about. Which character on this show made you fall in love with the series over and over again? And which character do you hate the most? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching.